out tonight changes into something red. Her mother doesn't like that kind of dress. Reminds her of the missing piece of innocence she lost. We're only getting older, baby, and I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you've ever dreamed of disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Even when the night changes, it will never change, baby. It will never change, baby. It will never change me and you. In my head, I play a supercut of us. All the magic we gave off, all the love we hadn't lost. And in my head, the visions never stop. These ribbons wrap me up, but when I reach for you, there's just a supercut. In your car, the radio up. In your car, the radio up. We keep trying to talk about us. I'm someone you may be my love. I'll be your quiet afternoon crush. Be your violent overnight rush. Make be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you'll regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name and a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love.
School bag in hand, she leaves home in the early morning, waving goodbye with an absent-minded smile. I watch her go with a surge of that well-known sadness, and I have to sit down.
Good evening, parents, guardians, family, and friends, board members, honorable guests, faculty, colleagues, HIS staff, and alumni. Welcome to the commencement exercises for Harare International School class of 2025. My name is Jeff Markey, and it's my pleasure to serve HIS as secondary principal and my honor to be your MC for today's ceremony. Small housekeeping task that I've been charged with doing is just before we begin, if you could silence these devices at this time. Now, if you are able, I kindly ask that you now stand for the procession of the graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, family and friends, it is our pleasure to introduce you to the Harare International School class of 2025. welcome to you, the class of 2025, to your graduation ceremony. You've made it, and you're looking great. Please remain standing as I invite the DP Music class of 2025 to their positions to perform the national anthem. Accompanying the music class will be Shane Makanda from the HIS class of 2024. Shane's currently studying for a Bachelor of Arts at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. Welcome back, Shane. To the stage, musician.
To welcome you all to the 2024-2025 graduation ceremony, and I wish to extend a warm welcome to Deputy Minister Harry Tatos, United States Ambassador Pamela Vermont, esteemed guests, our visiting families, parents, alumni, teachers, students, and of course, those who we celebrate tonight, our wonderful graduates. When I asked others how they would characterize this class, the response was inspiring. Diverse, a group of unique individuals, quirky. But the most often remarked characteristic was resilient. And this makes sense. Our students, and especially those who have been with us for some time, have seen the school change in significant ways over time. And for those with us for just a few years, have likely witnessed the tempo of change to be very different from the previous school. While change in international schools may be higher than at other schools, the one important element, the one consistent component is our community. And in fact, graduates, it's you. Our wonderful graduates have weathered these many changes over the years. The coming and going, new teachers, new curriculum. You had to learn to adapt, and you're good at it. Resilience is what we call a universal skill, and indeed, throughout your life, you will be surrounded by the constancy of change. Your next steps will be significant, and while much of your content, learning here, may be lost, deepened, or transformed, much of your experience will fade except for those universal skills. And you have more of those skills that maybe you're not aware of, but they would also be communication skills, critical thinking, collaboration, and cultural awareness. All will help you thrive in what is sure to be an exciting journey for each one of you. In closing, you have your backpack of universal skills. You also carry many fond memories, and to be sure, you all have inspired dreams. So to all of you, it is now for each one of you to step into the world of unlimited possibilities. That journey officially begins tonight. I wish you all the very best, and as always, onward and upward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to shift to the next stage of our program. It is my honor to introduce U.S. Ambassador Pamela Tremont. Ambassadors do not arrive at their posts by accident. Indeed, their position is achieved through a career of hard work, impressive leadership, and unfailing dedication to their mission. Ambassador Tremont was confirmed as the U.S. Ambassador to Zimbabwe on May 2nd, 2024. As a career member of the U.S. Foreign Service, Ambassador Tremont has served as Deputy Head of Mission in Sweden, Ukraine, and Cyprus. This is her third time living in and working in Southern Africa, with previous assignments in Mauritius and Zambia. Ambassador Tremont holds a bachelor's and master's degrees from Baylor University in Texas, and a master's in National Security Resource Strategy from the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. She's married to Eric Tremont, and they have one son. Ambassador Tremont arrives to us here in Zimbabwe as a result of following her own dreams and becoming an international diplomat. Graduates, while you sit here tonight, and as you imagine the beginning of your dreams, the beginning of your journey, Ambassador Tremont arrives to you in the very thick of living her own realization of her dreams. In her commencement speech, Ambassador Tremont will also present the National Honor Society cords, and later she will help us present the diplomas. Ambassador Tremont, thank you. We're honored that you're joining us this evening. The podium is yours.
Good evening, graduates, faculty, families, and friends. It's such a privilege to be with you tonight to present these National Honor Society cords to our graduates. Today is not just about caps and gowns and diplomas and photographs, even though they're very important and very memorable. Today is about celebrating your resilience, your growth, and the journey that brought you here. As I look out on all of you, I see dreamers and thinkers and innovators, and most importantly, people who are ready to take on the world. I was asked to speak tonight about the NHS model service values: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. These 4 words are more than just values of a society. They're values for life. In scholarship, keep learning. Let curiosity lead the way. Ask questions, explore widely, stay humble and hungry for knowledge, Life always has opportunities for learning and growth. In service, contribute, give back. Let your life leave a positive impact on those around you. In leadership, lead with integrity, not with ego or title, but by how you treat others and how you empower others. Listen, act with intention. You are all leaders and you can find your own way to guide others. And lastly, character. In difficult moments, it may be your character that defines you. Be honest, be kind, stand by your principles, and let your values guide your decisions. Now, I've touched on the NHS values, things that I know that you all embody already, and I'm going to invoke my ambassador's privilege and just offer you a few bits of advice before you go. Things I wish people had told me when I was sitting where you are many years ago, or perhaps they did tell me those things, but because I was 18, I didn't really think I needed to listen because I knew it all already, right? The parents here know what I'm talking about. First, be ready to pivot. You don't have to know exactly where you're going. When I was 18, I had a very clear plan for life, but life had other ideas. Detours, new opportunities, unexpected challenges. There's always challenges. And in the end, those turns became some of the most important and meaningful chapters of my life. The truth is, adaptability is a superpower. Don't forget that. The world is changing fast. Careers shift, passions evolve. Plans don't always unfold the way you expect. In fact, they rarely unfold the way we expect. And that's not failure, that's growth. That's taking the opportunities that life offers you. Did you know that 80% of undergraduates change their major at least once? And about half of graduates go on to do a profession unrelated to their field of study. Some of you will go into professions that don't even exist yet. So stay adaptable. HIS has prepared you to stay open-minded and curious, and those detours may turn out to be your best path. Secondly, let service guide you, just like the NHS principles say. In a world that often measures success by how much we accumulate, I want to challenge you to measure it by how much you contribute. Our world increasingly emphasizes income and status, but I urge you to prioritize service to your communities. The true measure of success is not how much you earn, not how many cars you have, but the positive impact you have on the world. Ask yourself, what am I doing for others? Because a meaningful life is rooted in service. I once met a young professional who was in a high-powered finance career, and she left that to start a nonprofit supporting education in rural communities, a path she did not anticipate taking at all. But the impact she made is extraordinary, and you could see the energy and the charisma exuding out of her as a result of her finding this purpose in life. You don't need to start a nonprofit to serve. Sometimes the smallest acts can be very meaningful. Mentoring somebody, volunteering your time, or simply being a good neighbor. These can have a huge impact. And being a contributing member of a community will provide lifelong dividends. And frankly, it's our only hope for your future world. Because if we're all just seeking what's best for ourselves, the future is indeed bleak. Third, own your global identity. You are part of a rare group who've received an international education. That is more than an academic achievement. It's a unique and bankable worldview. Here at HIS, you've shared classrooms with peers from around the world. You've debated, you've collaborated, you've grown together. That experience gives you an edge, not just in knowledge, but in empathy and understanding. So as you move to university and beyond, use that global perspective. Build bridges, seek understanding, and think globally. This mindset will serve you well, and the world needs more of that. And lastly, one that may surprise you, so I'll say it plainly, don't forget to laugh. Life will bring challenges, stressful moments, plans go sideways. You've discovered that already. You didn't get here today to graduation day without learning those lessons. And in those moments, your ability to smile or even laugh at yourself can change everything. I remember points in my career where pressure was mounting, tensions were high, people were getting a little snappy or irritable, and then someone would crack a joke and the whole room exhales, we reform as a team, reset, and move forward. Laughter builds perspective, it connects people, and it lightens heavy moments. So wherever you go, keep your sense of humor close. It may be one of your greatest tools for resilience. Okay, so I'll wrap up so we can get to the chord presentation, which is what I was actually invited here for. Class of 2025, HIS has given you roots to ground you and wings to soar. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. You are now armed with that power. We believe in you, we're cheering for you, and we can't wait to see what you're doing next. The world is lucky to have you. Congratulations, graduates.
It's my pleasure to ask Ambassador Tremont and Dr. Moncada to present our NHS students from the class with their gold cord, symbolizing their membership and commitment to the National Honor Society. NHS students, as I call your names, please come onto the stage to receive your special recognition. Omar Dunga Mbimbizi. Congratulations, Omar. Anopa Doro. Congratulations. Nate Mbele. Evanesu Murima. Ayanda Nwenya. Congratulations, Jaya. Ayanda Rodzi. Congratulations. Amy Sanga. Just one more. Congratulations, Amy. Congratulations, NHS members of the class of 2025. Thank you, Ambassador Tremont, for your words, and thank you, Dr. Gregg. Welcome again, everyone, to today's ceremony, affectionately referred to as graduation. It is an honor for me, on behalf of the HIS faculty and administration, to present the class of 2025. As MC today and your secondary principal, I have an opportunity to take a few liberties, similar to the ambassador. My blah, blah, blah from this morning's practice may make you laugh. I'm expecting a few side eyes, might even shed a tear. I certainly don't intend any emotions. But speaking of laughter, and I appreciate that the ambassador added that as number 4, thank you, Anashe and Jason, for making us all laugh this year with your legacy-creating performances of dad jokes. Or maybe you were making us cry. Seriously, guys, what are we going to do without them? I mean, 7 days without a dad joke makes 1 week. Sorry, you can cry, it's okay. In all seriousness, class of 2025, Anashe and Jason's dad jokes, whether you laugh or cry, are an example of the plethora of things you have left with this community, your legacy. Thank you, each and every one of you. I'd like to take a few moments to talk directly to you all, seated at the front. Please bear with me as you've done so graciously in my first year here at HIS. Several years ago, I had the privilege of attending a teachers' conference in Europe. This teachers' conference was a big event where educators came together to learn from one another. Yes, believe it or not, we as teachers have much to learn too. In fact, my own learning and reflection is that we have so much to learn from those we teach, coach, and mentor. Yes, you all. The more I teach, the more I realize I learn. So thank you from your teachers, coaches, advisors, and parents for teaching us too. At that conference, we were graced with a keynote speaker named Ziadin Yousafzai. Now, for many of you here today, that main name may not be familiar. Mr. Yousafzai is a Pakistani educator who reminds the world of a simple truth that many don't want to hear. That truth being that women and men deserve equal opportunities for autonomy, for independent identity, and access to education. In about 45 minutes, he told stories from his own life and the life of his daughter, Malala, who you might be more familiar with. Malala was shot by the Taliban in 2012 simply for daring to go to school. The bullet narrowly missed her brain. She survived, and in her memoir, I Am Malala, that maybe some of you have read, she rationalizes her actions after recovering, saying, "I just could not imagine a life limited to the 4 walls of my house and never be myself." Never be myself. Now jump with me to the present, May 30th, 2025. 29 of you. It's hard to fathom, let alone imagine someone telling you you couldn't be yourself. No way, not here at HIS. We need a gate pass to leave campus, let alone to have a gun anywhere near our learning. Apologies for sharing something too far removed from your reality. No, wait, sorry, not sorry. Today in this moment, be quick, but don't hurry to the next thing. I do want each of you to grapple with your own reality. We are blessed, so blessed. There are things in and around us that we should not put up with. We can be more kind and definitely be more inclusive. And we don't have to go to the Swat Valley in Pakistan to eliminate injustice. We all look at the models around us, our friends, our teachers, our coaches, our mentors. We know they've taught us how to be kind and to celebrate the difference that is all around us. Pass that on without ceasing. Although we have found Malala's story intriguing, she is the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, has established a wonderful fund for women's education all around the globe, and is now a recent graduate at Oxford University. I found what her dad said at that conference even more interesting, and what I wanted to share with you, the class of 2025. His humility was effusive. While telling stories, Mr. Yousafzai paused with what I remembered to be one of the biggest smiles ever seen when he shared about Malala's fame. Quote, "It used to be that Malala was my daughter, but now I'm her father." Not only his humility, but his simple wisdom rocked my perspective as an educator, husband, and especially as a father. When he said about Malala, "It is not what I did, it's what I didn't do. I didn't clip her wings." As I pondered this nugget over the years from Malala's father, ever since the conference, I realized that in sharing it today, it wouldn't necessarily be directed just to you, the graduates. So I share it with the parents, the grandparents, the siblings, the teachers, the coaches, and our honored guests. We have an awesome responsibility that we are a parent, a student, a daughter, a teacher, a representative of a service organization, or a leader of a business, that oftentimes it's what we don't do that makes all the difference. Class of 2025, you'll likely hear some intriguing, comical, and clearly even challenging words from your classmates and Mr. Hawkins. But before those words come across your mind, I think it's important to pause and ask you to think of all the teachers, the sponsors, and the coaches over the years who have shaped you to be the people you are today. In fact, at this time, if you're an HIS faculty member or coach, would you please stand? You're right there in the front row, please. Class of 2025, this wonderful group of people who have been a part of your journey today deserve that round of applause. And it's okay to turn around and give them a smile and thank them once again. Thank you, college. You may be seated. Class of 2025, take a moment and smile at those often selfless acts of sharing those adults did for you. Heck, respect the heck out of them because they passed high school without ChatGPT. Seriously, they molded you to be critical thinkers, challenged you to take risks in the name of growth. They've encouraged you to be compassionate souls, servant-hearted, and likely often forgiving spirits. Think about what they didn't do in not clipping your wings. Sure, they've erred along the way. We've messed up here and there, maybe messed up a lot. But please pause and take a look at the wings you do have. They will allow you to fly. And in that same thought, be sure to see those around you and do your best not to clip their wings along the way. Unbelievable things can be accomplished, like having the sheer guts to respond the way Malala did when she asked what she would do if she encountered the Taliban again. Quote, "I will tell them how important education is, and that I want an education for their children as well. Now you do what you want." End quote. Yes, Malala is displaying unfathomable bravery, but in that bravery she found her wings is also in love, be inclusive, and speak the truth in the face of hatred. Class of 2025, take a deep breath, and with those wings, be gracious in your relationships and be kind. On behalf of the entire HIS community, we congratulate you. We are so very proud of you. And it is our wish and hope that you speak truth and love into everything and everyone around you, wherever you fly. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our first performance of the evening. Please welcome Noku and Nicole to perform "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John. Thank you, Nicole and Noku. It's amazing. They are still standing after 3.5 weeks of IB exams. That's awesome. I would now like to welcome Ms. Kate Reeler, HIS Secondary Vice Principal, to the stage to introduce this year's Salutatorian. Give it up for her. Let's go.
I'm going to stand on my tippy toes. So there are 2 ways for a school to select their salutatorian. This could either be the student with the second best scores, or be a student that the cohort nominates to address them. The class of 2025 chose to nominate the student they would like to speak. And they chose well. They have chosen a student who is outspoken, kind, courageous, and filled with a kind of HIS spirit that is perfect to deliver our salutatorian speech. I welcome Yaya Ngwenya.
You don't need this, right? You're okay.
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good evening, members of faculty, family, friends, everyone who's here for the food, and of course, the class of 2025. I stand before you tonight as your salutatorian, tired, slightly unhinged, but honored to welcome you here tonight. Let's not pretend, it was rough. I've been here 5 years, and that already feels like a lifetime. But shout out to the real MVPs who have been here since elementary school. That's a true legacy status. Still, no matter how long we've been here, we all went through the same journey. And levels of procrastination we never imagined we could reach. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but I'm pretty sure some of those HL exams proved us wrong. My fellow historians, I applaud you. Those last-minute study groups were legendary. Nothing like trying to cram an entire World War 12 hours before the exams. Highlighters flying, someone asking, wait, was Stalin the mustache guy or the paranoid guy? Spoiler, he was both. To the econ students, we salute you. You started with market basics and ended with breakdowns over inflationary gaps and government failure. Half of you now bring up supply and demand in conversations where it is not remotely necessary. Should we order pizza? Well, it depends on market equilibrium. No, just say yes. The rest of us had our own academic roller coasters. Each subject had its own brand of pain. Bio-IA trials, you plan the experiment, align the variables, do all the research, and the yeast just decide it doesn't want to respire. Like it knows you're out of time and thinks, let's have fun. And studying bio in general, the eternal exocytosis versus endocytosis debate. Stuff going in, stuff going out. 2 years later, I still double check. Then there's the extended essay, the bold idea to write 4,000 words in one sitting. We told ourselves we would work on it during ICEA volleyball, bought our laptops and everything. You know what we did? Nothing. After 6 hours of volleyball, the only thing we were writing was a nap schedule. And CAS, creativity, activity, and service. Sounds wholesome, get involved, give back, reflect on growth. Beautiful, until you're staring at a blank reflection form at 11:58 p.m., trying to make painted one banner sound like a journey of personal growth. Through this, I learned the value of patience, leadership, and color coordination. And now, the real villain of the HIS journey, the peacocks. I don't care how majestic they are, they were menaces. You'd be walking to class, barely awake, coffee in one hand, and one would shriek from the bushes like it's auditioning for a horror movie. Let's be honest, the peacocks were the unofficial IB examiners. If the coursework didn't break you, their jump scares would. While we're talking about confusion, let's discuss well-being sessions. In theory, a safe place to reflect and process, and practiced post-lunch rice coma. You'd walk in, stomach full, brain half off, trying not to fall asleep on a beanbag while someone says, let's talk about your university application essay. I could barely articulate my name. So to Miss Payne, our uni advisor, therapist, and unofficial life coach, you deserve more than thanks. You endured us half asleep, highly stressed, and always behind on some deadline we definitely knew about. You smiled through our existential spirals and read more personal statements than any university admission office. To all our teachers, coaches, and of course, Mr. Maya, from the ones who lifted us up to the ones who broke us down just enough to make us stronger, thank you. You pushed us, guided us, inspired us, and yes, sometimes terrified us. Whether it was in the classroom, on the court, or at 9 a.m. training, you showed up for us. You taught us discipline, resilience, and how to keep going when everything in us wanted to quit. You helped us get here, diploma in one hand, caffeine in the other, and for that, we are truly grateful. To our families, thank you for supporting us. Even if you still don't know what the IB is, it's okay. There were moments I doubted myself, moments I didn't think I'd make it here, but I've learned it's okay to fall apart if you have people to help put you back together. And I'm lucky to have had those people. If there's one lesson from this chaos, is that success doesn't always look like straight sevens or perfect IA scores. Sometimes it's just showing up when you're tired. It's failing, trying again, and laughing through the madness with people who get it. So class of 2025, never underestimate the power of persistence, friendship, and a little delusional optimism. That's what got us through high school. That's what will carry us forward. You're the only people I'd willingly suffer with, from procrastinated deadlines to sacred naps in the senior lounge. We've done it all. We've cried, we've crammed, and we've stared at maths exams like they were written in ancient Greek. We laughed, screamed in our notes, and somehow we passed. Somewhere in between mental breakdowns and last-minute cramming, we also managed to have hour-long debates about whether Playboy Cardi is a musical genius or just noise with bass. And yet, through the chaos, we made it here. So here's to the class of 2025, a group of legends forced in the fire of IA deadlines, HR stress, and occasional peacock attack. We didn't just survive high school, we conquered it in our own chaotic, unforgettable way. As we step forward into the world, remember, success doesn't always come with a gold star. Sometimes it's just leaning on others and pushing forward. So when your experiments don't respire, and your CAS is due at midnight, and you still don't know what convoluted means, we are capable, we are resilient, and we're just the right amount of unhinged to do something great. Adulthood and university are right around the corner, and yeah, it's scary, but so was high school, and we made it through that. So face what's next with the same resilience, honesty, and quiet confidence you've built here. And when it gets hard, remember the Roblox lunches we stole in the senior lounge just to get by, the epic naps we took between deadlines, and the collective crash outs every time Management refused to show our Turnitin score. We got through it all together, and while there's real sadness in leaving the friends who've become like family, know that the connections we've made here don't end here. They'll shape who we become wherever we go. And most importantly, never open Management again. And if you're wondering what comes next, well, results drop in July. Until then, let's enjoy the illusion that we all passed. Thank you.
Well done, Yaya. Thank you for sharing. Well, I would now like to invite Omar, Diana, Anopa, and Yaya back to the stage. This quartet are performing Night Changes by One Direction. To the stage, lady.
She's into something red. Her mother doesn't like that kind of dress. Everything she never had, she's showing off. Driving too fast, moon is breaking through her hair. She's headed for something that she won't forget. Having no regrets is all that she really wants. Only getting old, baby. And I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you ever dreamed of, disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Changes. It will never change me and you. Doubts are running round her head. He's waiting, eyes behind a cigarette. Heart is beating loud and she doesn't want it to stop. Moving too fast, skin is lighting up her skin. She's falling, doesn't even know it yet. Having no regrets is all that she really wants. We're only getting older, baby. And I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you ever dreamed of, disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Changes. It will never change me and you. Going out tonight changes into something red. Her mother doesn't like that kind of dress. Reminds her of the missing inch of innocence she lost. You're only getting older, baby. And I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you ever dreamed of, disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Changes. It will never change, baby. It will never change, baby. It will never change me and you. It will never change me and you.
Awesome. Thank you, and thank our accompanist as well, Shane. Now it's our great pleasure to present you the Valedictorian of Harare International School, class of 2025. I would like to invite our Diploma coordinator, Mr. Derek Gresko to introduce this year's 2025 Valedictorian. Mr. Gresko.
Good evening. The Valedictorian is the most prestigious award title. It's awarded to the student with the highest average diploma program grade average. This student began to positively influence us all from day one. Please help us to honor this year's Valedictorian, an individual who has produced the very highest caliber of scholarship, Nicole Peary.
Good evening, esteemed guests, faculty, and fellow graduates. My name is Nicole Peary, and I'm the reason Mr. Marquis just put this block right behind the podium. I would like to start by congratulating the class of 2025. The day has finally come when we can proudly say we survived the International Baccalaureate, which can simply be described as the intellectual beating, an easier to pronounce and spell term from Mr. Mchatuta. Thank you, Mr. Mchatuta. Of course, none of this could have been possible without everyone present tonight. Firstly, I would like to thank our parents for their endless support and sacrifices, which we often overlook because we are perpetually moody. I am especially grateful to my mom for searching the entirety of Harare for raw papaya when they're out of season for my biology internal assessment. Secondly, I'm grateful to our teachers for not just treating us as students to arm adequately against the IB, but also as young adults eager to explore the world. So allow me to give a shout out to two special women. Firstly, Ms. Reeler. Thank you for always being energetic and chill until someone attributes the wrong quotes to Winnie the Pooh. And Ms. Payne. You make me glad we don't live in a world in which one surname determines their personality. That is to say, whenever I need to talk to a trusted adult, you're the first person I think of. Lastly, I'd like to thank you, class of 2025, for teaching me that if I ever want to have a main character moment, I should just do a high school musical flash mob. I will now take this opportunity to ask you all a question that has plagued my mind since I began my IB journey. Why is our school mascot a warthog? Now, this isn't a rhetorical question, so please feel free to tell me why after I'm done with this speech. Because I myself don't know the answer, I will instead share how I have seen the class of 2025 embodying the true warthog spirit. To begin with, warthogs are sociable. In my first month of being an HIS student, I felt so welcomed and accepted by my new classmates that by the third week, I found myself running for my house, Jacaranda, in the 2023 Interhouse Athletics. For those who saw me on that day, I'm sure you noticed I had no talent in the sport. Trust me, I was under no disillusionment. Nonetheless, I was happy to have contributed to my newfound family. Secondly, warthogs are adaptable. It has truly been a joy to see the various ways in which we made HIS our home away from home. I personally discovered that I could sleep soundly in the senior lounge. This was often on Tuesdays, 3 to 4 p.m., much to the chagrin of my orchestra conductor because these power naps would coincide with the weekly orchestra practice sessions. For my fellow classmates, it was secretly playing games in multiplayer mode or polishing their digital interior design skills in classes that shall not be named. Thirdly, warthogs are resilient. As former IB students, we have had no choice but to learn to be resilient. My favorite moments were seeing my fellow science students in the lab 4 out of 5 days a week for a month straight because of internal assessments. And of course, the recently passed exam season in which I learned that nothing brings our class closer together than trauma bonding. Do you agree? Well, except for sharing our disgruntlement with various IB-related issues. However, through it all, I saw young men and women who passionately and stubbornly work for what they deserve, the best. Finally, we're thugs or problem solvers. Not only have we been vocal about getting what we want, we are also experts in creating solutions to get it. In the classroom, this translated into getting deadline extensions for tasks that weren't meant to get extensions for almost every week of our diploma program journey. I am proud to say we took this superpower of ours and channeled it into the wider HIS community through National Honor Society, student ambassadors, the Recycling Club, and many more student-led activities. We have this saying, which we often hear whenever someone is leaving HIS. Well, to me, it has never been more true. So I ask the class of 2025 to say it with me. Once a war thug? Just as we once held these qualities which required endless capacities of willpower when we exercised them before, during, and after our daily battle with the IB, we will always have them. Therefore, I ask you, beloved family, friends, and faculty, to continue supporting us as we become doctors, lawyers, economists, anything we have set our minds to. I ask you to see that when enforced by our individual proficiencies, personalities, and even peculiarities, these qualities are what make each of us an HIS war thug. And finally, to the class of 2025. I've heard the seniors before us saying that the first year of uni is easier than the IB, and I am choosing to believe them, for now. I know we may not want more responsibilities, but as Mr. Gresco has been saying for the past month, we have never been more ready. If there's anything I know we won't forget from this journey, it's how to cite properly. So just trust me, we'll be fine, because this is, after all, just the end of our beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I would now like to invite Vimbai to the stage, who will be performing a violin piece called Concerto No. 5 in D major, Opus 22, third movement by Frederick Zeitz. I didn't say that. That's Frederick Zeitz. Thank you, Vimbai. Every graduating class selects an individual from the faculty to address them at this ceremony. It is a great honor to be selected. This year, the class of 2025 has chosen someone who has served this community in many roles, including principal and acting director, and has also taught many of the members of the class. On behalf of the class of 2025, I would like to warmly welcome Mr. Richard Hawkins to the stage to deliver the commencement address.
Good evening, everybody. And of course, good evening, graduates. I'm so proud of you. At around this time last year, I was doing the job Mr. Marquis has been doing tonight. Last year was a bit more emotional than usual for me, as I knew that I was moving into the role of full-time mathematics teacher for this school year, and that it was my last graduation ceremony as principal at HIS. Besides looking forward to the role of being a full-time teacher, the feelings about the things I would miss about being a principal culminated during and after the graduation ceremony. But a big silver lining for me was that at the next graduation ceremony, i.e. this evening, I would not have to say a single word on stage, and I could just relax in the audience. Well, as you can see, that didn't quite work out. Thank you so much, seniors. Considering that I was your principal for 5 years, I do feel honored that you asked me to be the faculty speaker at your graduation and stand in for your beloved Mr. A. I asked myself, what does this mean? It could mean that I did an okay job as a principal, or it could mean that you are well aware of my preference for not being on the stage and decided to punish me. But actually, I think it reflects on all of you and what an amazing cohort you have been during your time at HIS. I mean, aside from Jason, none of you gave me any trouble at all. Jokes aside, I really do think you have been an amazing cohort to work with. Besides your many contributions at HIS and your massive potential to make the world a better place, as a group of students, you are great to be around, and I've experienced this countless times, including on your recent trip. Speaking of Mr. A, I know that you all miss him, and I want you to know that he is watching the live stream and thinking of you all. Hello, Mr. A, you can wave at the camera. He sent me a message to play for you. Is anything happening on the screen?
Good evening, graduates, and I'm sorry for the quick interruption. I was so happy to hear when you had selected Mr. Hawkins to be your faculty speaker, and equally excited when he asked me to make a short video congratulating you all. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but as long as there's a live stream working, I'll be watching from the DRC. I miss you all. I'm proud of you all. Diana, Leo, Wilf, Ropa, Omar, Lucia, Anopa, Noku, Arthur, Damien, Simone, Vimbai, Tura, Vittorio, Nate, Jason, Claire, Tatenda, Yaya, Audrey, Nicole, Ayanda, Nisi, Senu, Hugo, Amy, Kepa, Anashe, Tatenda. I don't know you, but congratulations. Congratulations, everyone. Well deserved. We're all so proud of you and look forward to seeing everything you achieve. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. A. I'm told that the faculty member speech at graduation is meant to be me giving you advice for the future, based, of course, on my many, many, many years of experience. I thought long and hard about this. What advice could I possibly give to an already great group of young people at the very age when they are so sure they know everything there is to know? I decided the best thing I could do was to try and put myself where you are now and think about how I felt at that time, which led me to think about how I got here. And through all of that thinking, the best advice I could come up with is to expect the unexpected. This was not really the wise-sounding, deep and meaningful advice I was looking for. So in the end, I just decided to tell you a story. Knowing that the IB Langlet course has given you the skills you need to interpret the story and draw your own conclusions based on your own experience and context. So back to 1989 we go. Like you, I spent parts of my last 2 years at school thinking about what to do after school. I actually loved school and was thinking about becoming a teacher. However, my mom told me that I couldn't become a teacher as I wouldn't make enough money. Well, she was right about the money part. But aside from that, there was another problem in South Africa at that time. Basically, I had 3 choices: go to university, take a gap year, or become a conscientious objector. Unfortunately, the gap year option was actually called the army. And the army at that stage was defending apartheid South Africa against other South Africans. And the conscientious objector route actually meant going to jail. In addition to this, university required funding that was not available to my parents at the time. So my only option was to find a course of study that somebody else would pay for. So I decided to ask my guidance counselor for advice. Now I can assure you, my guidance counselor was not at all like Miss Payne. He was a former Special Forces soldier named Mr. Van Rooyen. And in those days, our religious instruction teachers doubled up as guidance counselors. As he had caned me on a few occasions for not doing my Bible study homework, I was a bit nervous about approaching him for advice, but I was really out of options, so I had to brave it. Mr. Van Rooyen gave me a huge book listing all the possible university courses in SA. It also included information about how many bursaries were available for different courses of study. A bursary in SA at that time was when a company paid for your studies and you committed to work for them for 4 years after university. I quickly discovered that more bursaries were being offered for heavy current electrical engineering, which I now know really prepared you to work for big mining companies or industrial companies, or the likes of Eskom and ZESA. Very few people wanted to do this, as the whiz kids were all more interested in electronic engineering or computer science, as the computer age was really kicking off. So I applied for courses in heavy current electrical engineering at every university in SA and applied for bursaries from every single company that offered one. This was actually quite a lot of work, as each one of these applications had to be filled in by hand and posted by snail mail. Yes, it is true, there was a time with no internet, no email, and no mobile phones. Anyway, I was fortunate enough to get a spot at the University of Cape Town for that course of study and to be awarded a bursary by a big chemicals and explosives manufacturing company based just outside of Joburg. So at the point in my life that you are now, I was quite excited, or at least relieved, to be heading off to Cape Town rather than to the army or jail. I was also intrigued by the prospect of finding out what heavy current electrical engineering actually was. Okay, I promise I will not cover the next 35 years in as much detail. Bear with me for a little bit longer. After 5 years of studying in Cape Town and 4 years of working for the company who paid for me to study, I realized I didn't like heavy current electrical engineering, which was not surprising given how I had chosen it. And also I didn't like Joburg much. Thankfully, during that time, apartheid had ended and the conscription army was no more. Mrs. Hawkins was pregnant with our daughter, and at that point we decided to move to a beautiful little town called Hermanus and raise our child far away from Joburg, chemicals, and explosives. I was able to get a small retrenchment package and decided to buy a supermarket in Hermanus. We ran our shop, which we called Hawks, for 4 years, and also opened a discount cosmetic store called The Beauty Spot. We were living okay in a beautiful place, but not really making any money to save, and had to be at the shop 6 days a week all year round. Our plan for a chain of cosmetic stores across Africa was not really working out. Then by chance, we saw an advert in the newspaper. Yes, a newspaper. That teachers were needed in the UAE. Only degrees were required and teaching qualifications were not needed. So we sold the businesses and off we went to the UAE with our 3-year-old daughter. I was just past 30 years old, and it was the first time I was leaving South Africa. While working in the UAE, we completed our teaching qualifications online. Yes, the internet was up and running by then. And then after 2 years in the UAE, 4 years in Bangladesh, and 10 years in China, we found our way to Harare to be closer to home. Our son Greg was born in Thailand near the end of our time in Bangladesh and joined HIS in grade 6, and our daughter was at uni in the US. Due to my engineering background, I was always given some organization or data-related tasks alongside a partial teaching load, and these tasks eventually led to various admin roles. I became a principal in China for the last 3 years, and then for 5 years here. As you know, I started doing some teaching here and eventually realized that I was enjoying that a lot and wanted to spend more of my time teaching. And of course, teaching some of you was the highlight and perhaps the tipping point in my decision. So at the start of this school year, at the sprightly age of 52, I became a full-time teacher for the first time. And now I know that I'm happiest when I'm in my classroom with my students. I think back to the thoughts and dreams of the 17-year-old me and realize that I was right all along about the destination and what would suit my personality best. But of course, I had no idea about the path I would take. So here you all sit, thinking about your dreams and aspirations, probably somewhat excited and probably somewhat nervous about what lies ahead. I guess my message to you is that while expecting the unexpected and knowing that the path will probably not be linear, you should never give up on your dreams. You are an excellent group of young adults, and I know that you all want to make the world a better place in small and big ways. I urge each one of you to focus on the kind of person you want to be, rather than what you think you want to do, and to focus on what you find rewarding and what makes you happy, rather than what others think or society dictates will be best for you. Be very flexible and don't worry too much about the inevitable detours on your pathway. Above all things, be you and strive to do more of what makes you happy. I'm so very proud of you, and I'm truly honored to have been your principal and teacher. HIS and I will miss you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is it a tradition at HIS graduations to recognize those graduates who have been here the longest. These students have been at Harare International School since early childhood or kindergarten and are pioneers of this year's senior class. Students, when I call your name, stand and turn to be recognized. Anopa Doro has been here since kindergarten. The following students have been here since EC1. Omar, Damien, Ayanda Rhodes, Nisi, Amy, and Vimbai. Thank you for all the time you have put into this school. Seniors, it's time, don't you think? It's time, don't you think? Yeah, it's diploma time. Members of the Board of Governors, Dr. Moncada as our school director, HIS community, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2025. As secondary principal representing the secondary faculty, it is with pride that we pronounce that the 29 students today represented have fulfilled all of the graduation requirements of Harare International School's high school program with integrity. Inspired by curiosity, embracing challenge, and deep personal growth, they have met and in many ways exceeded the academic, artistic, and athletic requirements for graduation, and thereby have earned an HIS diploma and have their wings to fly. I'd like to now invite our secondary counselor, Ms. Ann Payne, to the podium. Ms. Payne will call each student up to receive their diploma in alphabetical order by surname and share with you a little bit about each student as they come up to receive their diploma. Class of 2025, when your name is called, please come to the stage to receive your diploma. Ambassador Tremont, Dr. Moncada, Ms. Reeler, it would be our honor to have you join me stage right to award our diplomas.
Thank you for the box, Mr. Marquis. Just to echo Nicole's words, short women rule the world. Diana Mahesh Bhagat. Diana joined HIS in grade 9. After graduation, she will attend the University of San Diego to study entrepreneurship and accounting. Someday, she hopes to open her own business that brings an aspect of Zimbabwe with her. From her time at HIS, she will always remember the Zanzibar trip. Leo Robert Carlier. Leo joined HIS in grade 11. Upon graduating, he will attend university in either Poland or Belgium, studying political science and economics, and is looking forward to seeing old friends. Eventually, he hopes to have a stable job, perhaps with the Polish or Belgian embassy, and to travel extensively throughout Southeast Asia. His lasting memories of HIS will be the friends he made and how open and welcoming everyone was. Wilfred Albert Hayes Cattermole. Wilf joined HIS in grade 6. He plans to study mechanical engineering in the UK after graduation, but beyond that, he hopes to travel extensively. He credits HIS with helping him develop strong time management skills. Ropafadzo Fadzai Chikua. Ray joined HIS in grade 8. Upon graduation, she will take a gap semester and then will attend university in Australia to study psychology. After uni, Ray aspires to return to Zimbabwe to work toward removing mental health stigma in the community. She credits HIS for helping her find her passion for music and the experiences that have made her stronger today. Omar Maria Dangarambizi. Omar joined HIS in EC1. After all this time, she looks forward to attending the University of British Columbia to study economics. Eventually, she hopes to get a law degree and practice family law, coming back to Zim and offering financially accessible legal advice to those who need it. In her journey at HIS, Omar has learned that you can find friends in the most unexpected places. Connection is all over the place in a diverse community like this one. Lucia de Torres Troncoso. Lucia came to HIS in grade 10 and will attend university in the UK to study marine biology. Someday, she hopes to live by the ocean, any ocean, and to be actively involved in research while having lots of different experiences in her life. She will remember the many people who impacted her life at HIS and hopes to stay in touch with them. Anopa Mufarawashe Doro. Anopa came to HIS in kindergarten. She will study global studies in the Netherlands, eventually pursuing law in her future. She hopes to work for an NGO or with the UNHCR to empower women and young girls in marginalized communities, and sees herself living in Europe someday, as well as having made a difference in Zimbabwe. HIS has opened her mind to a richness of diversity, from friends to ideas to her future career path. Nokutenda Muriel Zobo. Noku joined HIS in grade 11. She will attend the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, BC to study economics. She will use this education to explore cryptocurrency and finance systems, with a dream to revolutionize finance in Zimbabwe and to give back to her community. HIS was a journey of self-discovery where Noku was proud to have found herself. The exploration of diverse cultures, joined by friendship, has allowed her to make friends wherever she is. Arthur Zachary Mungoma Gerber. Arthur joined HIS in grade 11 and will study business administration in university, either in the Netherlands or in Switzerland. He hopes to travel a lot, discover new countries and cultures, and to have a stable job. He has many great memories with friends from HIS and is grateful that the IB prepared him well for university. Damien Angelos Haritatos. Damien joined HIS in EC1. To our knowledge, Damien is the first second-generation HIS graduate. As many of you know, the proud son of Vangelis Haritatos, here in the audience, who is also an HIS graduate. Next up, Damien is headed to Baylor University to study engineering and business. He hopes to prosper in university and bring his knowledge back to Zimbabwe to help his community. HIS has broadened his view on culture and internationalism, and he loved the travel and experiences like Zanzibar and the many ICEA trips he attended. Simone Tadiwanashe Kamupinya. Simone joined HIS in grade 11. She is off to NYU Abu Dhabi, where she will study economics. She looks forward to being filthy rich and retired by 30. 35 at the most. She credits HIS with teaching her to take herself less seriously and to actively work toward being better. Vimbai Lynette Kutekwatekwa. Vimbai joined HIS in EC1. After graduation, she will study environmental sciences and sustainability in university in Germany. In her future, she hopes to be involved with pushing the world closer to sustainability and educating people on the impacts of human activities on the environment. In her many years at HIS, she has developed a great love for music, as well as having learnt to work with many different types of people, despite their differences. Tura Kwesi Shak Lindegård. Tura joined HIS in grade 4. Next year, she will take a gap year in Denmark to travel, work, and recover, after which she will attend university in Denmark. In her future, she hopes to be successful in a field she's passionate about that integrates her love of art and animals, and to pursue it wholeheartedly. She will remember HIS for the tight-knit community. Vittorio Malnati. Vittorio joined HIS in grade 11. After graduation, he hopes to attend Nottingham Trent University to study computer science and business. He looks forward to a new place and meeting new people, as well as staying involved in football. In his future, he hopes to travel around the world because of his dad's stories. He will remember HIS for many memories with friends and teachers who helped him out in studies and in life. Nate Mwasa Mbele. Nate joined HIS in grade 8. Upon graduating, he will attend Baylor University to study economics, furthering his interest in sustainable development and humanitarian aid work. Someday, he plans to be back in Africa in this line of work, potentially working for the African Union to help humanize economic systems. From HIS, Nate learned that no matter where you go, you'll always find your people. Jason Seth Meyer. Jason joined HIS in grade 7. He will study socioeconomic sciences at the University of Antwerp in Belgium. He plans to enjoy the EU and freely explore across Europe. He hopes to continue having international experiences, to enjoy life with as little regret as possible, and to give back to the world. He appreciates the growth the class has experienced and the warmth of the community. Some of his fondest memories were at ICEA's, and when he was in class, not doing work with friends. Avanesu Claire Murima. Claire joined HIS in grade 7 and will attend North Carolina State University to study environmental engineering. She hopes to simply be happy, relaxed, and to live an unproblematic life. HIS was where she grew up, from middle school until now, and all the experiences, even the difficult ones, have shaped her deeply. Tatenda Michael Nacuñada. Tatenda came to HIS in grade 12. After graduation, he is headed to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, where he will study engineering. After undergrad, he hopes to attend law school with a dream of owning his own law firm someday. He will remember HIS for the close-knit community. Ayanda Matipaishe Ngwenya. Yaya came to HIS in grade 8. She hopes to start medical school in early 2026. In the meantime, she will work in a hospital, interning in emergency medicine and pediatric surgery, as well as at an elementary school. She hopes to be working and making money somewhere in Europe as a doctor, and to do some traveling in Asia and Jamaica. She will remember good friends, a good community, and some good teachers from her time here at HIS. Audrey Ofeina Nu. Joined HIS in grade 11. Upon graduating, she looks forward to attending university in Hawaii to study business. In the future, she hopes to own her own business and to start a family. Audrey credits HIS with teaching her how to take initiative and how to advocate for herself. Nicole Taonga Piri. Nicole joined HIS in grade 11. She is headed to Emory University to study psychology, where she hopes to get a master's degree in industrial psychology. She hopes to be mentally and spiritually rich in her future. She hopes her many years of French will pay off someday. From HIS, she learned to be a risk taker, not to just live within boundaries and not to be afraid to explore, and that it's also okay to sometimes wear pajamas to school. Ayanda Wodzi. Ayanda joined HIS in EC1. She will attend Fordham University to study marketing, hopefully integrating her passions for business and design. She hopes to eventually come back to Zim and use her skills to help the community develop creative solutions for tackling business-related issues. From HIS, she learned to advocate for herself and was grateful to find adults on campus who were there for her. Tatenda Chelsea Sanokwe. Tatenda has been at HIS since grade 8. She is excited to be headed to Baylor University to study political science. She hopes to one day return to Zim to open an orphanage and help empower others in the way that she herself was empowered. She is grateful for the leadership development that came from HIS through organizations like peer mentors, ambassadors, and collaborating with Kids Can. She had amazing teachers who really saw her and helped her to grow. Nisi Ngatendwe Chikonyora Smith. Nisi has been at HIS since she was in EC1. She will study entrepreneurship at Oklahoma State University and hopes to one day own her own architecture firm. She will always remember the culture and experiences of HIS, going to Juru, feeling the accomplishment of hard work, doing service work, and the chance to travel and meet new people. Senari Imanya Sugunendran. Senu joined HIS in grade 11. She is looking forward to attending business school in Estonia, and she hopes that wherever life leads her, she will achieve a sense of financial stability. Her experiences in 7 international schools around the world has helped her develop an open mind. From HIS, she learned resilience and the ability to dig herself out of a hole. Hugo Llewellyn Thomas. Hugo came to HIS in grade 11. He is now off to Japan to teach English, after which he would eventually like to attend university in Canada. His hopes for the future include traveling extensively, meeting lots of people, and learning at least one language fluently. Amy Shupikai Tsanga. Amy joined HIS in EC1. She will be going to the College of William and Mary to study international relations and economics. She hopes to someday be working in Southeast Asia with her cowboy husband and to work with women on economic development issues. She will remember the kindness and the community at HIS, which have taught her how to be more understanding, as well as the lifelong friendships. Kepa van Dommelen. Kepa joined HIS in grade 10. After graduation, he hopes to travel a lot, as well as discover new places and have new experiences. He aspires to find peace of mind in life. From HIS, he will take many great experiences, especially the sports and all of the people in the community that have shaped his journey. Anashe. Anashe joined HIS in grade 11. After graduation, he hopes to pursue mechanical engineering and a future in motor and cars. He hopes to eventually be working in F1 as an engineer traveling around the world, hands-on in the pit. HIS set Anashe on the right path and has opened many doors for him. He now has friends from all over the world. He will miss the people, but will stay in touch with them.
Thank you, Ms. Payne, Ambassador Tremont, Dr. Moncada, Ms. Reeler. It's now my honor to present the newest alumni of HIS, class of 2025. Please come up on stage to be recognized one final time. Honored guests in the audience, This walk up onto the HIS auditorium stage marks an official moment of transition. Graduates, you are from Belgium, Brazil, Denmark, Greece, Italy, Kenya, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Switzerland, Uganda, United Kingdom, United States of America, Zimbabwe. Through your diversity and your shared experiences, you have been connected by your time together at HIS. It is with these words that I break the bond that has united you as HIS students and confer onto you a new freedom to pursue your dreams and realize your destinies. Okay, class, are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Families and friends, I present to you the Harare International School, class of 2025. Now, before we do anything else, I would like to ask our graduates to lead our community as we share some gratitude for the people who not only made today happen, but helped you along your journey at HIS. Thank you to Mr. Rucato and the operations team for their part as they set up logistics. Thanks to Mr. V, Tino, and the IT team for tech setup and live streaming of tonight's ceremony. Thank you to Miss Winnie, Chenu, Joshua, and the setup and running of the PAC and supporting the musicians. Thank you to the NHS students and student ambassadors, high school student council for helping us all tonight. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins, honored guests, and everyone who spoke or performed. And last, but certainly not least, we would all like to thank Miss Diana. Planning this graduation, the senior prom, the reception which is about to follow, while running the DP exams and doing their regular jobs, is a superhuman feat. You are truly incredible, and it stems from a place of making these events special and memorable for these students on stage. Would you please join me in congratulating and thanking Miss Diana with a round of applause. Thank you. All right, graduates, are you really ready? There is one more order of business. Audience, I ask that if you are able to please stand for the recession of the graduates. Guests of HIS, please join this year's salutatorian, Yaya, as she leads the countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Family members and guests, please allow the graduates to recess out of the auditorium. After the graduates leave the PAC, I invite all families and graduates to join for a small reception outside the high school art room. Thank you for being here tonight. Congratulations, graduates.